Hi everybody, welcome to Thrive in EFL, this new channel for EFL teachers who want to do more, who want to be better, who are ambitious, who want to reach their full potential. I'm super happy that you've decided to come back, and I'm honored that I've got, the chance to help you and support you and inspire you, hopefully. So today it's a topic that has been requested, so I hope a lot of you will find it useful and you'll find some practical things that you can actually use in your own teaching business. It's gonna be about charging students and how to approach that. So guys, the traditional model of charging EFL students is to charge by a lesson or by an hour, 60 minutes or 45 minutes. And I know it exists, I think it's doing quite well, but there are definitely some disadvantages to it, and especially if you are a freelancer or a person who looks for their students on their own. The story is a little bit different if you work for a company, even as a freelancer, if you work for an online platform like Preply or italki or anything like that. But if you're a freelancer, I think you've got all the freedom to do what you really want in terms of finances and charging for your lessons. So I'm not saying that you have to change it, but again, it's just food for thought and something to consider, because it did work for me and for other people I've worked with, and I know people who have started to charge much more when they changed their model a little bit. So charging by hour is the first simple model. What are the alternatives? The other alternative to charging by an hour is charging for a set of classes, so say at least 5 or at least 10. What are the advantages? The advantages are that you don't have to worry that your student won't extend those classes because they've paid for a certain number of them. You can decide to tell them that to on your website or whatever channel you're marketing your services on, that the minimum is 5 or the minimum is even 10, and use incentives or certain discounts. The more they book, the cheaper it is. It tends to work really well. And again, I know it's hard to think about it, because let's say I'm literally making up numbers at the moment, but let's say that you charge £20 an hour, okay, whatever, £20 an hour, and you tell your students that if they book 10 classes with you, they're gonna pay, say, 15 an hour. So that's £150 in one payment. And depending where you work, what country, what the situation in the market is, it may sound a bit daunting, and you may think, oh, nobody's gonna pay me £150 upfront. They will. Because you're not thinking, again, this is all about mindset, money mindset as well. You at the moment are not thinking about the result that you're giving them. You're thinking about the process. And if in their minds they're thinking, oh, that's 15 an hour, but it's 10, it's 150, I don't have £150. Like, if they really want to do it, if they really want to improve, they will. Believe me. And £150 is just a made-up number. It can actually be much more than that. So that's one thing. Number 2 is selling programs. So that's something that I've mentioned in my previous video, I think. It's when you specialize in something, such as teaching IELTS or teaching any other exam class or whatever, really, business English, developing a program, so something that is quite prescribed, okay, and you've got a plan for the full, I don't know, 10 weeks or 15 weeks, whatever you choose really, because it will depend on people that you work with and are helping in your business. Then you just set a price point for the whole program, okay? And I'm gonna share with you that when I started that, and I did that a year ago, the least I charged for a program, a 10-week program, so that's 10 lessons basically, was £300. Not too shabby, I don't think. But let me know. Maybe you can charge even more. But that was around the time when I was testing different things. So this is, and this was just teaching English, basically teaching general English. So I'm pretty sure when you specialize in something very, very specific, you can charge even more than that. And people were buying it. And it was not just one person, it was groups of people. So, to recap, you can charge by minimum number of lessons, 5 or 10 or 15, or you can charge for programs. I know this will probably take a little bit more thinking about what you want to do in those programs. And I know some people are a bit worried that if there is a program, there is no flexibility. What if the students' needs are different? I mean, it's okay. It's okay that they are different, but when you actually go and market that program, you come across as an expert who knows what they need. So there is nothing wrong with then changing it a little bit and adapting to your different students' needs, but you're selling a product that will solve their problems. So again, it's about thinking about it in more business terms rather than the process of teaching and helping them of, with future tenses, vocabulary, with jobs and stuff like that. Okay, so let me know if any of those sound interesting to you. I would say those two models are very good to use on a one-to-one basis. And there is one more I wanted to share for group teaching. So if you're trying to attract students in your groups, you can definitely charge a little bit less. So when you break down the price of the whole course, it actually comes really, really cheap, but then you can actually approach the mass market. So what you would do, and that's something I also did, is that you would come up with a price for, say, again, 10 weeks of teaching, once a week or twice a week, again, up to you, up to your capacity. And you would come up with a price that's quite affordable to the general masses, but then your job will be to find as many people to fill that group. So the minimum would probably be 3 people, and online it tends to work quite well with 3 people. 4 is probably more convenient because then you can pair them and do lots of things. So from the academic point of view and interaction point of view, it's probably more interesting. And then that price would be for the whole program. Again, people like to see results. So the difference between that model and the program is that you don't have to come up with a program. You just tell them it's a course at a certain level, okay? And at the end of the course, you can list what they will know, okay? Whether it is, again, it can be specialized and then you can charge even more. Or it can be simply business English, general English. So when I used to sell it, it was general English, and for example, 10 weeks, a certain amount of hours in those 10 weeks to reach mid A2 level, for example. I'm never gonna lie and tell students that in 10 weeks they can grow from A2 to B1, for example. No, I'm not. Obviously, I'm not a hoax, but it's not about that. It's about showing them what the investment means. So, this will also depend, if this sells, it will also depend on things such as whether students like to work in groups, but you can always sell it as something very, very positive. I love working with groups, so it's never been a problem to sell that, okay? So, 3 models. Let me know which one you like best and might try in your own freelance business. Let me know if you have any questions about that. I'm very happy to share my experiences, so please comment down below. And thank you so much for being here and coming back. As always, rate, subscribe and share so I can reach more people and help them thrive in EFL. See you next week. Bye.